Hello. Oh, still getting organized. Just finished eating dinner, so I'm still cleaning myself up. Homemade gumbo. In the meantime, hello, fellow player characters. This is Dave on CRPG Dungeons and Dragons Night, live on YouTube. This is our talking shop. And we're just basically going to talk about what's going on with the channel, CRPGs in general, tabletop maybe a little bit, and current events such as upcoming conventions I might be attending. And I'm not going to be talking about politics or the huge fire that's going on in the Los Angeles area. Last time I checked, hold on. Nope, this is live. Yeah, this isn't a recording. This is the real deal. Otherwise, I wouldn't be answering your question unless I was psychic. How are you doing, Redbeard? Although I think it's funny that it says JP on there, so I don't know. But anyways, I was going to have another video up on the channel, but today, but it didn't record right, or it recorded right, it just didn't edit properly. So I'd redo the editing on it, and it'll probably be up tonight. Oh, okay, funny. Oh yeah. Updating my little bucket list of places to go to. Credit goes to Autumn, my daughter, and she discovered a place called Elixir Tea Bar and Enchanted Ice Cream, which is all themed with Harry Potter and magic stuff in it. Let me see if I still have the menu listed, and I can tell you what they actually have. Uh, Give me a wee moment here. Oh, there it is. The enchanted ice cream is $10, but this is the stuff that they have listed here, and I love the names they're using. We got the Java the Hutt, What's Crack-a-Lackin', Macadamia Nut, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Lopan's Lychee, however that's pronounced, Dungeon Master's Cookie Monster, Princess Buttercup, Remind Me of the Babe Bing Cherry, Green Dragon Pistachio, Go Shorty, It's Your Birthday Cake Royale, My Precious Cookies and Cream, Dementor Chip, and Patronus Coconut Pineapple. That's their ice cream list. But yeah, I found out that's in the Orange County area, so I'm probably going to check that one out first chance I get. And then we got anyways, I wrote down the places I want to go to. That's number one since that's probably the closest to me. The Enchanted Forest in Oregon. I'm still planning on going there. And I'm also planning on going to Trees of Mystery. That's a place I haven't been to since I was about 4 or 5, maybe even younger. I'm not sure. But I was really little when I went there, so I thought I'd revisit it just to see what it was about. And I'm also thinking about going to the Texas Renaissance Festival whenever it's up and running, because apparently that's supposed to be the biggest one in the United States. And that goes for about a month, I believe. It uses up the weekends, and each weekend's a different theme. Now, here's something of interest. While last year, a place called Evermore Park went out of business, and that was back in August, where they finally shut everything down. But as of September, someone else had bought the property, and they're going to be calling it the Realm Town, which is it's going to be basically the same thing as Evermore Park, but they're going to finish building it before they actually start doing anything else. Because as far as I know, Evermore Park was incomplete for God, how long? Well, since they started the place, it was incomplete. Structures were not finished, and entire areas were still in the work, in the blueprint stages. So this couple just bought the place, and they're going to call it the Realm Town, and they're going to be fixing it up, and it's going to be hopefully ready by next year. So I added that to the list. It's no longer called Evermore Park. It's going to be called the Realm Town, just to make it clear to everybody. And of course, I want to go to the Excalibur Hotel and pretty much every other hotel that's around there to check out the sights and sounds of the casinos in Las Vegas. There's a couple other places, but I couldn't think of them when I was writing this down. So that's not. I guess that's not going to happen. And there was one thing. Okay, I had planned initially that I was going to start on Sundays doing readings of the Forgotten Realms books. I was going to read a few chapters a night on every Sunday, possibly Tuesday as well, but I'm not going to be able to do it. And that reason is copyright. Yeah, I have to get legal permission from the publishers of the books to read them on the internet, which means I would have to fork over cash. And I'm not going to fork over cash to read a book I already paid for. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do the readings as I thought I was going to be doing this week. I'm still waiting. You mean I didn't put it on my? Did I? I didn't put it on my channel? Well, hold on. I thought I put that up here. Let me look. Your videos. Yeah, because I must have put it up in September, didn't I? Okay, let's go down to September. That's November. I didn't put it up. I thought I did. Did I? Oh, man. And I already got rid of the original video off my computer. Yeah, it does not look like I have it on here. I could have sworn I published it. Nope, it's not up here. I owe you an apology. Yeah, I read most of Pool of Radiance. And for the life of me, I can't remember any of it right now. But yeah, I was going to start reading all the books in release order instead of chronological order or anything like that. I was going to read them in release order, so I was going to start off with Dark Walker on Moonshade, and I made a book report about it, and apparently I did not publish it like I thought I did. It's not on YouTube. I could have sworn I put it on there, but apparently I did not. So I guess I'm going to have to do it again. Unfortunately, that means I got to read the book again because I don't remember what it was about. Well, hell. Well, that just puts a clinch in my week. Okay. So I hadn't even started the next book yet, which is the Crystal Shard, which I think is the first appearance of Drizzt. So yeah, I'm going to have to read Dark Walker on Moonshade again and do another book report, and then make sure I actually put it on the YouTube this time. I can't believe I did that. Well, actually, I can because I've got so much stuff going on in my day lately just for this channel that you didn't piss on my Wheaties, you shit on my cornflakes. No, you didn't. Yeah, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 of the first 17 books up there. I got 18 coming to me in the mail. One of my friends donated that to me. You'll be receiving it in the mail, and he lives in a different state, so added flavor to those cornflakes. Yeah. Yes, the nutty flavor really adds to it. But yeah, I got. I think the last two I have up there are the only ones that are not in any particular order because I bought that as a package. It had two of the books that were in order, but the last two books were out of order. But I bought it anyway because it was cheap. So I got Dark Walker on Moonshade, The Crystal Shard, Black Wizards, Spellfire, which is, yeah, that's the one actually written by Ed Greenwood, which I think is funny that the first three books, Ed Greenwood's the guy that came up with Forgotten Realms to begin with. Yeah, his book is actually the fourth released. Because you got Douglas Niles and who's this other guy here? R.A. Salvatore or Salvatore, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It looks like Salvatore to me because that's Italian. And Spellfire is actually written by Ed Greenwood, who's the creator of the Forgotten Realms setting to begin with. So I always found that odd that his book is fourth in line. Then you got Azure Bonds, which is technically Azure Bonds is the hey, I'm Mizu Paints. How you doing? And discussing my growing Forgotten Realms book collection. I have to start over again because I forgot to publish the book report I wrote, or not wrote, but did as a video. And apparently, I didn't put the video on the channel, and I already got rid of it off of my computer, and that was back in September. And I'm sitting there going like, because JP here asked, how come I hadn't. Oh yeah, it's going to be in there. You mean Spellfire? Yeah, yeah. That's actually. I was just talking about that. That it was actually that's the fourth book release, or because I'm reading them in a release order, and Spellfire is the fourth book. But the thing is, you had two other authors ahead of him doing 3 books. You got Dark Walker on Moonshae, which is the first one. Which, by the way, I some people have told me it is a very good read, but it's like I had the hardest time getting past the first 2 chapters because it was so boring to me. Oh, I gotta go do a cleanup real quick. Be right back. We just had dinner, so my dad still has a bowl and stuff, so I gotta go still clean up our dinner dishes and stuff. I do the cooking around here, so be right back. Okay, I'm back. Well, back to the book report thing. I had a really hard time putting the book report together afterwards because a lot of the things that happened in that book. Oh, really, JP? And you think I wouldn't find out? Anyway, as I was saying though, because I was having a hard time doing a full book report after reading the book, mainly because I forgot about what a lot of what happened in it. But what I'm going to end up, I think I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to, for each book, I'm just going to do a couple of chapters at a time, and I'll do I'll get into the book reports a few chapters at a time and do a video for them as I'm reading it. Coleslaw, really? Well, I like coleslaw. Uh, Baldur's Gate, yeah, I've actually been playing it on my channel. So, in fact, I think I played last time a couple of days ago. So, yeah, that's on my list. Fallout 2, I I'm actually staying away from Bethesda games right now because they've been giving me a lot of issues. I was going to start doing a thing on a different channel where I was going to be playing Elder Scrolls Online, but I started getting a lot of issues with Bethesda. They started giving me problems. So, mm. Oh, I know, but yeah, when it was originally that, but I actually got bored playing the first one. So, yeah, the whole post-apocalyptic thing really doesn't appeal to me. I tried playing Wasteland a while back, and that for some reason those particular games from were giving me issues on my computer. I don't know why. And then when I tried to do Bethesda games, Bethesda started giving me problems, which I'm not going to get into because I really don't want to talk about things that are going to upset me. So, yeah, Magic has more options in yeah, that's that, and I've always been more into D&D as it was anyway. Um, but yeah, I have been playing Baldur's Gate. Let's see, when was the last time I played it? Uh, okay, last time I played it was January 2nd. And that was session 3. I've actually been I did play it for a while, but then I ended up I had to reboot my entire computer, so a lot of the memory of the games I was playing at the time, I had to start over on, and that was one of the victims. One game I have been playing, and I got a new video of it going to be probably coming up after the later on tonight because I just got done playing a little bit of it. Was Solasta. Let's see, Solasta Crown of the Magister, which initially I thought it was a 3.5 that it was emulating. And someone corrected me and said it's actually 5e, and that was before the more recent updates. Again, I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to deal with politics on my channel. Betrayal of Krondor. Okay, I'll have to look at it. I can't get it to run properly right now. It keeps getting I keep getting choppy graphics off of it. So I'm trying to see if I'm not going to do it as a live stream. I'm going to see if I can use a different system and just do recordings of it and go from there. Because a lot of Solasta is one of the few where I use a different system because I can't get the streams to play it properly. So I'm doing them live, and it's just the game itself. You don't see me, and you hear me though, but you don't see me in the video. And I'm having a lot of fun with Celeste. Still in still in the tutorial, which is they got you on your first quest right now, and it's kind of interesting what they did. The first few 4 segments of if you've seen the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. You make your 4 characters, and then they do cutscenes with the voices you've chosen, and they use your characters, and it's very well done how they did that. And because most of the time it's like one character that you make, and then they interact with all the NPCs and stuff, and your party and all that. This one, you make the full party, and the full party interacts with each other like they are actually, something you created. And yeah, I've been playing that one, and I've been enjoying it. Wizardry 1, I'm thinking about bringing it back if I can get a system that'll work, though. I haven't tried it for this yet. I might try tonight, though, after this talking shop. So I might give it a shot and see what happens. Betrayal of Krondor. Let me see here. I don't have GOG up right now because I was making up space. So let me see if Betrayal of Krondor is on here. Betrayal. Oh, that's not how you spell that. Okay, betrayal. Of probably be... No, I spelled it right, so... Oh, yeah, I remember reading that and I forgot about it. Thanks, JP. Let me see here. I probably need to re-download my GOG because I haven't rebooted it since my computer crashed last year. Okay. I gotta download the thingy. Okay, there we go. All right, let's Betrayal at Krondor. Let's see a Betrayal of Krondor pack on GOG. Okay, Betrayal of Krondor. Now, I'm going to read everything I see here, and if I read it and I like what I'm seeing, I may add this to my wish list. Because there are a bunch of games I have plans on playing, but because of budget constraints, which is I'm broke, we'll see about maybe getting it another time. Betrayal at Krondor Mid-Chemia, a realm of enchantment and ancient magic where elves, dwarves, and man once battled an unimaginable evil across rifts in time and space. Legends tell of a boy named Pug who would become a master magician. His friend Tomas would wield the unearthly armor of the Valhuru and command the armies of Elvandor to fight the final titanic battle at Sethanon. The betrayal at Krondor experienced non-Lutel in the Rift War Legacy. Rift War? I'm not familiar with that. Legacy to travel the world of Ramar. Betrayal in Antara. As the mighty and benevolent empire of Antara fractures under the weight of corruption and war, four unlikely heroes find themselves faced with an insidious mystery involving the most powerful figures in the empire. Includes two games, Betrayal at Krondor and Betrayal in Antara. One of the most classic RPGs, chosen as the RPG of the year in 1994. Polished and well-designed world with complex political, economic, and cultural system. Okay. Turn-based show 2-1. Magic CRPG, okay. Now, are these characters I make, or are they already pre-rendered? Okay. I'm going to look this up on YouTube real quick. Don't mind me. Mention 2. The magician needs to cast read magic spell, then ready and use to see what's on them. The spell you don't have, you can then scribe it. What's been mine to play so far? Oh God, that's hard for me to answer that question, considering I like I'm one of those that if you watch my channel, I play different games at different times, and it's like, sometimes I play them in a certain kind of order, and then sometimes I just completely randomize what I play, and that's because I can't make up my mind which one I like more. Pool of Radiance, I enjoy playing it for the strategy, and basically it's old school styling. I like that. I like Baldur's Gate, and I do like I like all of them for different reasons. Wizardry 6, I play for the fact of pure nostalgia for me, because Wizardry is actually one of the first CRPGs I started playing, which was number 7, which is the sequel to the one I'm currently playing. Hmm. Well, I'm going to look into it. It says it's for $5.99, and on GOG, so I might look into it a little bit later. Right now, I'm going to see if I can find a playthrough of it on here, uh, and see about if there's any, see about character creation. Let me move this over to here. Yeah, now I can watch it on 2 screens. I got you guys on one screen, and I can look at the thing I want to look at on the other screen, and then not worry about missing the chat. Trail at Cromdor. I'm going to put it on mute because that's not what I pressed. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Why are you still talking? I hit mute and you're still talking. Because I don't want other people's videos on my streams. Okay, Raymond E. Fight. Okay, I know who Raymond V. Feist is. So it's based on his works, apparently. I am unfamiliar with his books. I've never actually read them. I'll have to look into that. So, yeah, a friend of mine, he's also a YouTuber from the UK. His name's Deffy Duck, spelled DEFFY_DHUCK. And he was playing it on his channel for a while. And I'm one of those, I try to stay calm and patient, because if I do anything other than that, I could give myself a heart attack. Well, that's some interesting graphics. All 4 games appear. All 8 Wizardry, first 2 games of Bard's Tale, and the first of the Kryn series. Didn't care for it, so never did the rest. Oh, okay. Well, this is great stuff. Well, I think it was Omizu Paints here that told me I didn't actually have to stick around in the slums after pretty much defeating everything over there. I could just go over to the next area instead of having to deal with that one group of guys. Ken Rogers, is this a? Is this released by Sierra? Yep, Sierra. Oh, cool. This game was made nearby where I used to live. Because Sierra Online, no longer called that, and it's no longer in existence. Their compound, they called it a compound because they actually allowed their employees to live there. It used to be in a town called Oakhurst. And Oakhurst is about 30 minutes from Yosemite. And yeah, the Roberts were I actually knew them, so I'm familiar with their games. So I might actually check this out if there's actually some really good CRPG elements in this. It says to be a CRPG, but I'm not sure in what way. So it was like, yeah, I was seriously slumming it. But yeah, I finally made it to Kudo's well this morning. I was only in there for a couple of fights because I was unfamiliar with the area. Start new game. Yes, start new game. Preferences. I'm watching a playthrough of Betrayal at Krondor. Just the first couple because I want to see. I'm looking at the story here. I'm not really getting into the story because I want to see if there's character creation. I want to see how the game actually starts. Okay, it's three pre-made characters. Funny, kudos to you for making it there. Yeah, this might be way later on my roster because I see three pre-made characters, which looks to be a rather uh, porn stash looking warrior, uh, an effeminate thief, I think, and elven wizard with a beard. Yeah, so I still might look into it later, considering it's cheap. For $5.99, that's a deal, and you get two games out of it. So I might look into it. Yeah, you mentioned four games, and there's like there is a fifth game, which is technically between the first and the second game, but that's like the redheaded stepchild of the group, and that one's Hillsfar, which I am going to play that one as soon as I'm through with Pool of Radiance, because you could transfer your characters to that one just like you can with the other ones. But what I'm thinking of doing, because you get two new character types in uh, Curse of the Azure Bonds. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to take four of the characters. I'm going to take four of the characters, which would be, obviously it's going to be the magic user, the rogue, and the cleric, and then two of the fighters are going to be a band, going to leave the team, and one fighter is going to remain. And then when I start up the next game, I'm going to bring in a ranger and a paladin. I tried starting it several times, but the problem is, um, how do I put it to you this way? There's no real character creation, just like with that one. You have one character, and you're kind of stuck with him. And my main problem with him was, he's a blank slate. He's such a instead of letting you make your own character, they give you this blank slate of a character, and but then they give him a personality, but still keep him as a blank slate somehow. And my main problem with it was there was a lack of combat system, and that's because it's a lot of excessive amount of puzzle solving and NPC interaction, and very little in the lines of combat. And I don't mind puzzle solving. I mean, I'm okay with that. But when they make it that's the entire pretty much 95% of the game, and I was just like, "Ugh, I'm not going to do this the entire time. My brain doesn't work like that." Hey, I resemble that remark. Actually, I don't have as much as a problem with a lot of puzzles. Like, I can't solve like some of the puzzles they'll throw in. But my main problem is when they throw a puzzle at you, but then don't give you a key for the puzzle. They just expect you to figure it out, and you have no idea what the concept of the puzzle is. Oh God, turn-based games. Uh, well, for me, I would say the Gold Box games have a pretty good system going for them. Um, they do leave space for improvement, which they do work on throughout the Gold Box system's lifespan. They do work on it because if you're watching me playing Pool of Radiance, there's a lot of commands that are later abandoned by the later games. Wizardry 8, I really haven't played it that much, so I don't know. Um, I do like the system that's in Wizardry 6. Miley snoring. Uh, but I do like when they add a little bit of a strategy to it. Um, that's not to say that I like strategy CRPGs. Like say, what was that one? Trying to think of that one game I played. It was on the Sega Genesis. Oh, Shining Force. Yeah, I played Shining Force, and they basically made the entire game one big strategy battle to me, and I didn't like it, especially in the fact that it's not there's fights where you basically have to do them over and over and over again. You level up as you're fighting these same fights over and over again, just to beat one fight. But that got kind of monotonous for me that I kept doing that. It was like you go to the next fight, it's a little bit tougher, but you lose. But you keep all your points, so you go back to that fight again, and then you lose again, but you keep all the points and you leveled up and all that stuff. And you just keep going until you finally beat the one battle, then go on to the next battle and do the same thing. And it didn't even feel like a grind. It felt like I was just repeating myself over and over again with different results. Which, if you ever heard the saying, if you're a crazy person and you're the definition of a crazy person is doing the same thing over and over and over again, and each time expecting a different result. But yeah, when it comes to the combat systems, I do like the gold box ones. Another good system I've come across. I gotta look at the game here. Uh, where is it? I gotta figure out the game. Excuse me. Yeah, I know it's there. I just keep forgetting to use. It's a lot of the strategies on there. I keep forgetting to use because I keep forgetting they're there. But the thing is, I'm aware they're there, but at the same time, my brain just get once oh, maybe I should do this next time I do that, and then when I get on there, my brain just conveniently goes bye bye. Oh, I'm not finding it. Maybe I didn't play it on here yet. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. No, it wasn't fantasy. No, where is it? Well, I will say the one that I consider the most obnoxious and probably the most painful to go through is the system they used for Eye of Beholder, and I know a lot of the latter gold box games uses that system. I do not have an inflated ego. I have the lack of an ego. But anyway, with the Eye of Beholder, yeah, that's the one that bugs me the most is that system because I've come across a lot of games that use that exact system. Um, Legend of Grimrock, I think, has that same system as well, and it's basically you have the two people up front, and you have the two people in the back. The only people that can really do any physical damage is the people in the front, and the people in back have to use long range if they're gonna or magic if they're gonna do any kind of damage at all. Um, it and yeah, there is a real lack of role play in it. I will say because you don't really interact. At least as far as I'm gone through in the playthrough, I think I've run into my very first NPCs in the last session, which was a dwarf, and he ended up joining the party. And now I got the row of people in the front that can do attacks, and I got the two people in the middle that can do only ranged attacks, and the last person in the back. He can do only ranged attacks too, and I'm just sitting there going like, so it's kind of weird how they got it set up to work, and it for me it doesn't work. I mean, I'm able to get it to work, but at the same time, it's just, and of course, it's not very. It's more based on speed, so of course, I got to move my mouse around constantly, trying to get things to go, and then you got to wait for things to happen because once you hit, then you got to wait for their turn, so you got to wait on a timer for their turns, and it gets kind of monotonous for me. That's why I took a break on it this last time and just went on to the other games. Um, Fantasy Star Gaiden, I'm actually taking a break on because of the grind in it is getting so mind numbing to me every time I played it. Because that's JRPGs in a nutshell for you. Like when you played Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy, and you just sit there and grind. and grind and grind and grind and grind and grind. And you got to buy new items. So, what kind of new items can you get? Oh, they're the most expensive items on the list. But these are only set, like second tier items, or next level items. And you're just sitting there going, like, because the first batch of items, yeah, they're not too bad in price. Like the most expensive one was 100 GP or something like that. Then all of a sudden, you go over to the next thing, it's 700 GP, and you're only able to at that particular point to only able to fight about monsters. You're lucky the best monsters you can get gold from will give you 10 GP if you're lucky. The rest of them give you 2 or 3. Yeah, I did too, but I was a late bloomer when it came to Final Fantasy. Although I did get Nintendo Power, and at the time I was reading the Dragonlance book, so I was kind of interested in art, role playing games at the time, but I wasn't playing them yet. And then we got what was it with Dragon Warrior? I out of all of them, I like the Dragon Warrior games, but at the same time, those were the worst when it came to grinding. Oh, she's moving. I saw her on the screen behind me. Uh, but yeah, I would consider when it came to grinding, Dragon Quest slash Warrior was the worst about it, especially the first one because you're a single character and you only fought single monsters at a time. I was in my teens, or I was coming up on my teens, I should say. I think I got mine. I was a late bloomer when it came to Nintendo and Sega and all that. I think I got my Nintendo like the year before the Super Nintendo came out, or a couple years before it came out. So, a lot of the games that I could have gotten were pretty much being phased out at that point. Then ended up with the Super Nintendo, and I didn't get very many games for that one either. And it was mainly due to my I had a friend. I swear to God, he had like the entire library in his house. So it was kind of interesting with that. But yeah, I was very limited on what games I played at the time. It wasn't until more recently when I started playing a lot more games and stuff, and just having money of my own, so I could just go on, say, hey, I want to go get that game, and now I can go get it, or I can, go on some website and click on it, and say, there it is, it's mine now. But yeah, right now, yeah, that was the whole Dragon Warrior thing that drove me nuts. I like the story and all, and I like the fact that I can name the character what I wanted to name it and all that. But I think it wasn't until I played an actual CRPG like say Wizardry 7 where I really felt like I was putting into input into the characters I was playing. She wants out. Give me a second. Stretch. Well, I don't know why she does that. She looks both ways like she's expecting traffic. But when first time I heard of Final Fantasy was because I had gotten a subscription for Nintendo Power as a birthday gift, and one of the first it was when they were starting to do a bi-monthly strategy guide. So you would have Nintendo Power 1 month, and then the next month you got a strategy guide. And I think the first one was Super Mario Brothers 3, and the second one was Final Fantasy. So I pretty much knew that Final Fantasy was going to be the big game because they were putting so much effort into that one, and then I couldn't find a copy anywhere in my town. And then when I finally did, it was a used copy and it didn't work. And I think I finally just ended up renting one at a store one time, and when I played it, I hated it. And it was mainly due to the battle system. I hated the battle system. And but I'd say it was I don't have it anymore, but when there was I used to get this magazine called I think it was called Computers Unlimited or something like that. It was some sort of a computer tech magazine, and it would have advertisements in it, and a lot of the advertisements were for PC games, and they had an advertisement for Wizardry, and it was the first 4 games, and that was the first time I had heard of them. And I love the artwork, though. I love the artwork. And I think it was also the first time I heard of Ultima, and they had an advertisement for the first 3 games on that. I remember seeing, but I think it was a battlefield strategy simulator creation kit that I had seen, and it was from SSI, and it looked interesting to me, so I sent in for the catalog, which they had an advertisement for in there. They had their game catalog, so I sent that for it. And then when I got it, it was this. Oh God, let me see here. So something to the equivalent. It was about digest book size, little pamphlet. I don't think I have them. Well, this is close enough. I'll just show the one side. It was about this size, and right on the cover was, of course, that image. Cool. Yeah, I would love to have that kind of stuff. I loved all the what do they call it? Uh, fluff books that they would have, which was basically like it was still telling you how to play the game, but at the same time, you had a lot of story to read and stuff like that to really get you into the game. I really liked that. But yeah, it was the advertisement for Pool of Radiance, the Gold Box game, which they weren't calling them Gold Box yet. They were just calling them, just Advanced Dungeons and Dragons for PC. I know because you always, get on me for screwing up on that one. I'm going to be taking a break on it for a while because I'm trying to focus on the other games I'm playing right now. I will get back to it like on a time where I'm feeling a little like I want to play something else for a little bit, so I'll get back to it. That will be my go-to for a while for that. So it's not going to be a regular, it's going to be more like a semi regular. So I am going to still play it. I'm going to leave it on the computer, so when I decide to go back to it, it's there. So but then we had the whole thing with you open up, so like it was like the first 4 pages, I think it was 3 or 4 pages. And the first page was about Pool of Radiance. And it was talking about all the, and it had like a couple of paragraphs and a few pictures of, what to expect in the game. And the next page was Dragonlance Heroes of the Lance, which I'm going to say was probably, I think they all had stuff to do. It happens. But what ends up happening is they went to the second page and you have Heroes of the Lance, which I consider one of the worst products they made, because it had if you want to get a good review of it, check out a guy named Noah Antweiler. He's sometimes called the Spoony one, and he did a review of it. It was more of a comical sense review of it, but he was pretty accurate on how bad it was because you had no hit detection really. And the NES version was the one he was talking about, and it was even worse because you didn't even know who the characters were. You just had pictures with names, and you had no idea who they were because the game didn't explain anything unless you had the manual, of course. And a lot of the times when I bought games, I bought them used, so 9 times out of 10 they didn't have the manuals. The most I would have is like I get like one of those plastic little boxes that would have the sticker on the back with what the controls did, and that was the most you'd get. And he goes in. He's talking about there's no hit detection. The very first you got like this 8 people that you're supposed to pick through, right, to do the event, do the side-scrolling adventure. And the one person you don't want on point, your healer, and has the one item that you need to complete the game, and they put them on point. The very first person on the screen. And that person dies, you will never beat the game. And if you've read the novels, you know exactly who the character is I'm talking about. And I'm going to say the name, and that may mean something to you if you've read the novels. If it doesn't, will explain a little bit. Goldmoon. They put Goldmoon on point. The one person you don't want on point. Because in the book, the first half of the book, she's the one that everyone's trying to protect because she has this crystal staff that's supposed to represent the gods or something. And they got to go this one place and all that stuff. And of course, yeah, you always get that character killed. So that's the one person you don't want killed, but that's the person they put right on the screen first. You don't get to pick who goes up there first. It's her. And the first thing you got to do before doing anything else is switch the characters. And of course, if you've never read the books, you don't know that. If you've never read the books, you don't know what the hell's going on in the game. So, yeah, he goes on a good rant about it, and I think he did the sequel as well, Dragons of Flame, I think it was. Oh, no, my house is not haunted. My cat just walked in. Yeah, I think the last time I did a stream or something, someone saw the door open in the background and said, "Oh my God, you got ghosts!" I'm going, "No, it was my cat just walked in." What was that? I don't think she was expecting to get up on the bed that easy. Because I put a new box over there to help her get up. She's about 15 years old, so she's up in them years. So I put a box over there to help her get up on the bed when she wanted to. And I think she got up there faster than she was expecting because she just was like, boom, like, whoa, what just happened? But yeah, and then back to the pamphlet, and I flip over to the next page, and it talks about, and I have yet to see anybody ever talk about it. It was called the Dungeon Master's Screen for PC. And basically, it was all the information you would need as a dungeon master on a 3x5 floppy. Yeah, it was big. For those who don't know, I don't have one. I haven't had one in years, but they used to. Uh, Originally, you used to have like these big black square things, flat, and you would stick them in the machine, and it would read it like a record. And then they went a little bit smaller and made them more into this size. It was a little plastic disc, and you would stick it in the slot in the computer, and it would read it. And this was before they got into laser optics and stuff like that for CDs and all that. So it was very limited on what they could do, and you'd have to use like 6 or 7 of those things to play. I think it was like 4 for Pool of Radiance. In fact, I think I got a picture of it somewhere. I could give you the exact amount. Shut up. Nope. No, that's about 17 hours worth of porn. Kidding. Or am I? Let's see here. There it is. Okay. Pool of Radiance. No, it was only 2 discs. Okay, I stand corrected. Yeah, you had the 2 discs. You had a bunch of. You had the player's handbook. You had the adventurer's journal. Got a little thing to purchase the strategy guide, because a lot of games, especially CRPGs, um, you couldn't just look it up on the internet or whatever. So a lot of times you could just purchase the player's handbook from the company itself. They would actually send it to you in the mail. Then you got the little wheel thing. I heard about that. Yeah. Well, if you remember, like what was it, the 7 and 8 and 9. 7 was 3 CDs. And, 8 and 9 were 4 apiece. So you made it to a certain point, and then you switched over to the next game. Nowadays, you don't even bother with that half the time. In fact, those particular games that were on 4 CDs and stuff take up maybe a small, like 2 or 3% of my computer now. If I wanted to play them on my computer, those very same games, like say Baldur's Gate, I think took up about 5% of my computer. So it tells you, and this is a laptop, so that could tell you quite a bit. Hell, they got a version of Baldur's Gate I could purchase for my phone now. Granted, they changed the controls on it and stuff, but to my understanding, it's the same exact game, and that's with the expansions and everything. So you can see how much has changed since back when it was like you had. Because I remember, what was it? I played what was it? Wizardry 7. It was on 1 disc. But you went and got Wizardry 8, and I think it was like 3 or 4. I don't remember. And I didn't get to play it that long because it crashed my computer, so I took it back and said it crashed my computer, and that was Wizardry 8. That's right, it was 3 CDs. And 7, I got like the Windows version, so it was the Wizardry Gold version, as they called it. And if I remember correctly, I think it was only 1 CD. It might have been 2 or 3. I'm not sure. It's been that long since I remember even having. That's like 20, 25 years ago. And then when I got the what was it? When they had Wizardry, I can't think of it. Where they had them all together. It starts with me. You know the name I'm talking. You know the one I'm talking about, where it was like they had all 7 games, including and they included also archives. That's the word I'm looking for. And they had them all on one disc, except for Wizardry 7. They had that one on a separate disc. At least the version I had, because a friend of mine, he had a copy of it. It was all on one disc, and I said, "How did you get it all on one disc?" I had 2 separate ones. So it was like, yeah, 1 through 6 was all on one disc, and then 7 was on a separate one. But yeah, I've had this weird cough for the past month and a half now. Whenever I'm over here on the computer, I smell cigarette smoke, and I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. But I smell it here, and all of a sudden my chest just I get all choked up, and I start coughing. And the funny thing is no one smokes in this house. No one has smoked in this house since '81. I might be wrong. They might have all been on one disc. I'm just remembering something else entirely. Because I remember there was something I owned where it had pretty much all the games on one disc except for one, and it was on a separate disc. But yeah, I'm looking at the picture where it has someone had taken of the Pool of Radiance gold box with all its contents, and I'm seeing yeah, there's 2 discs. There's like and then if I remember correctly, they also recommended that you have your own your own blank disc so you can make saves. Well, that could be the case, except my only window is facing the front of the house. I'm not facing my neighbors. And then there's also a wall of ivy in front of my window, so I can't even look out my window really because all I'll see is ivy, except for one spot, and that's a clearing so I can see when the mailman's here because he parks in front of us before he goes on his walk to deliver mail. See. Yeah, I was going to be playing Elder Scrolls Online on a channel I was calling Ulrun Grey Wolf, but for some reason or another, the system I was using worked the first time, but then for some reason, every time I played since, the voice and the gameplay, or I should say, the sound and the gameplay, are off by about 2 to 5 seconds. It might be a possibility, but I could probably tell you no, that wouldn't be the case because it's an open yard in front of me, so I don't know. It's weird. And the thing is I'm not even near the window. The window's way over there. You can see the curtain. And I'm over here, and the only time I could smell it is when I'm right in this spot. And it pops up like every 5 to 10 minutes, this smell. And then I start choking on it. So it's something around here somewhere, and I don't know what it is. But to me, it smells like cigarette smoke. Anyways, changing subject. Vent is right over there, above the door. But anyway, so yeah, I started Celeste. What other games have I got going on right now? Yeah, I'm changing up games right now because it's like I said with uh, what was it? Fantasy Star Gaiden. I was getting kind of bored with, so I'm gonna leave it on, but I'm gonna come back to it sometime later. I restarted Legends of Amberland because I was enjoying that one, but that was one of the ones that suffered from my computer crash a few months back, so I hadn't gotten back to it yet. My grandfather did. He was a heavy smoker all the way until 81 when he quit, and he passed away in 91, 10 years later. And he was my favorite relative because he was the one that bought me my GI Joes when I was a little kid, and uh, basically got me into a lot of the hobbies I got into later on in life, and my total fascination with World War II because he was a soldier in World War II. Uh, Give me just a second. So yeah, I'm gonna. So yeah, I got a few, three new games I'm starting up on. One you already commented on and ridiculed me and made me feel very small for the stupid man that I am, and that was of course Champions of Kryn. And that was mainly because I completely forgot how the gold box system even works. I was also playing that late night on stream when I was playing that, so it's like 3 in the morning. So I wasn't exactly thinking straight when I made that video. Solasta, Crown of the Magister, I'm still getting into. I think I'm still in the tutorial, and I'm just did another video for it, and I gotta edit it. I'm in the process of editing it right now, and let's see here. Legends of Amberland. I'm returning to. I just started a few videos of that the other day. So yeah, I got those going in. So I'm taking a break on Fantasy Star Gaiden, and but I am going to continue on Order of the Griffin. And so right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking a break on Eye of the Beholder, and I'm going to be playing. I'm still going to be playing since I'm finally getting somewhere in that fucking game. Excuse my language. Pool of Radiance. I'm going to continue on. Um, I'm going to be playing Wizardry 6, Baldur's Gate, Legends of Amberland, Champions of Kryn, and Celesta, Crown of the Magister. I don't think in general when I'm half asleep. You're right. You caught me. I'm half asleep and my brain's on another planet. Okay. So, what did you think of the new opener I put up? I was kind of scared it was going to cause seizures. Yeah, my new one. I try to smash in about 3 years worth of video content into 35 seconds, and it starts. There's this during the bit where it starts doing really going into the heavy riff of the music. I start flashing on images. It's at first, it's like little cuts of footage and stuff, and then it's just pictures, and it's just flashing through it so much, and then by the finally end of it, it just cuts to me going like this with a pair of dice, and then it says CRPG Dungeons and Dragons night, and I'm just sitting there going like, after I watched it a couple times, I'm going like, I hope I don't cause any seizures. But I got a good compliment on it so far, so hopefully that means that no one dropped dead or had a stroke or something from it. Hmm. Yeah, but you probably passed through the artwork segments of it too, so I'm not going to ask you that one when I have my little commercial breaks. Hmm. But yeah, I've also done this thing where it's like I'll find artwork all over the internet, and I started making little musical numbers with these artwork. Ah, anyway, so what was it? Before I forget, I am going to the anime gaming convention that's going to be at the local fairgrounds at February 1st and 2nd. I'm probably going to be going there the first, and of course, I'm going to make a video of it, so no worries there. Remove, leave gap. Yeah, I've been very careful about that, and I'm actually thinking about not doing them anymore because of my worry about that. I mean, if I'm running into issues just reading a book, because originally I was just going to read the book to you guys on YouTube. I was just going to read the book entire, basically do an audiobook format kind of thing. But I just decided against it because I was just running into too many hurdles that I had to go over to get it done, to get it to work out. Like they wanted me to pay the publisher, and I'm just sitting there going like, I don't know who the publisher is anymore. because it's TSR on here, but I don't. TSR doesn't exist anymore, and I don't know who the current holders are. So I ended up. I just had to abandon the idea. Just go with doing a book report. And now I gotta do it all. Excuse me. So now I gotta do it all, read the book all over again, and do a book report on it. And apparently, I forgot to put the original book report up. It was like a 20-minute video, and I totally flubbed it on that one. It wasn't like it was a great video anyway, but yeah. Yeah. But like I said, it's also the fact of how long you have the image up on your video. Because, like, if you have, like, it's like with the music, if you have a copyrighted music on there and you have, like, a certain extent of period of time, like if it's over, like, what was it, 35 minutes or 35 seconds or 45 seconds, something like that. Then it gets, you get a, not a strike, but you get a claim on it. Which I've had that happen a few times because of certain music. Like there was one guy, I had permission from the guy, and I was still getting copyright claim on it. So I just stick to Kevin MacLeod music now. Heck, the music that I used for my opener, I got a claim on it one time. And when I played, because I was actually curious where the music even. Here's a story about the music I use for my opener. The origin of it is. Uh, oh, yeah, okay. Well, I'm thinking of phasing those out anyway. I'm thinking about phasing out the whole commercial break thing anyway, because I think people just fast forward through them anyway. So I got to figure out something else to put in its place, or just you know, just do a swipe or something to later on in the video. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do that from now on. I'll just do a screen wipe, like they do with Star Wars. Flash forward. Uh, anyway, so I'm actually getting tired. I don't know why. I mentioned this in a few of my videos that around this time it's about 7:30 here. For some reason, my brain just starts to turn into mush, and I get really tired. And I'm getting that. I'm getting there right now. I don't know if you can see it or not, but my eyes are getting really puffy right now. I'm getting really tired. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to start reapplying here soon because jobs are opening right now for security. You would think it would have been like that for Christmas, but no. Apparently, they're overloaded with employees, so now it's like now they're starting to get more moderate spaces open. So I'm going to start looking here. Starting next week, I'm going to start looking for a job again. And I've actually already been given like not an offer, but a suggestion from a employee of one particular company. So that's the first place I'm gonna check out Monday. And then I gotta go in to talk to the city because of my former employer. Still hasn't paid me yet. Yeah, that might be it because I used to work a graveyard shift all the time. Now my brain's all like so stuck on it still. because I was working those kind of shifts for about for 4 or 5 years, and then all of a sudden, it just stops. Now I got to get up early in the morning to go grocery shopping. Well, it wasn't as. I will say one thing though: working those graveyard shifts were nothing compared to my first security job, which was waking up at 1:30 in the morning to get on a charter bus at 3:30 in the morning and take a 3 hour drive to who knows where over in the Bay Area and do a 12-hour job there, then come home and basically make my way home on fumes and then make it to the bed over here and die. And this was, it was mainly just events I was going to in the Bay Area because those were the jobs that were available. So it was like I got work when it was available, and it was usually very tiring and very exhausted work. I think I mentioned that my very first security job was the Pride Parade in San Francisco, and it was from seven. When I got there, it was from 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening, and then a 3 hour drive to there and a 3 hour drive back, and then I had to get home. Which by the time I got home, it was so late the buses weren't in service anymore, and nobody I knew was answering their phones, so I had to walk home. And of course, it was 5 miles I had to walk. So by the time I was home, it was like I was surprised I was able to unlock the door to get in. I was so tired at that point. And then they called me the next day. They go, "Hey, think you got enough in you to come back over and do one more day?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck you." Yeah, they wanted me to come back the next day, and I'm just sitting there going like, I just spent 12 hours there, and 6 hours in a cramped bus, and then finally make my way home, and then you're sitting there going like, oh, by the way, do you want to go back and work some more? And that was my first day, and I'm just sitting there going like, that was intolerable. Of course, I was also thinking if I could survive this, I could survive anything they throw at me from here on out, and I was right. Until I found out that I wasn't being paid for the bus ride. I mean, they took 6 hours of my life to get me over there and back, and then they turn around and say, "Oh, we're not paying you for it." I mean, we paid for the bus. What more do you want? And going back to the artwork, though, I always say, I've always been saying, and I should start putting it in the little description that whenever the artwork is up there, if you're the owner of any of that artwork, let me know, and I will give you credit for the artwork because I want people to know you're the one that made that. So it's not like I'm going on there and saying, I made this artwork. Look at what I did. I'm going like, it's just artwork I found online and thought it was neat and would share it with everybody. Hindsight is 2020. If you'd known about the second day, you should have gotten a hotel room there. Yeah, I know, right? And they weren't even providing. No, no, it wasn't even that. You know what they would do? They'd get you on the bus, bring you home, back to your hometown, and then say, if you want to go back and do another shift, just stay on the bus. That's how they did that. And then I'm sitting there going like, well, if you wanted me to sit around for another shift, I would, just stayed there. Why come all the way home then say, oh, if you want to work another shift, just stay on the bus. We'll drive you back over for another 3 hours. And that was my dad peeking in on me. Yeah. Well, with the artwork, it was originally supposed to be. I was finding the old manual pictures from the old AD&D and OD&D books from back when. Yeah, when you're able to think, like I said, when I'm extremely tired, I have my brain has no concept of what to do. Well, I'm probably going to go for another 10 minutes and I'm going to call it a night. But yeah, I'm going to reread Dark Worker over Moon on. I keep saying over Moonshay, but it's on Moonshay. I think that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, I'm going to read that, and instead of doing the entire yeah brains, but what I'm going to end up doing is I'll read like the first few chapters. I'll do a book review on the first few chapters, and then so on and so forth. And I'll start putting those up. Not this Sunday, but probably the following Sunday. I'll start putting up book, chapter reports. They're not going to be exotic or heavily detailed. It's just going to be pretty much off the top of my head what I think and what I remember the most about the chapters and what I think of the characters at that point. I'll do my best. No promises. Of course, I think it would be pretty fun if I opened up the opened up the book and you know started going. Yeah, I could just imagine people, going, hey, get in here. This guy's onto something. Or onto something or on something. Anyway, so, yeah, before I go, I'm going to repeat again that I've got.
You get a chance, come in the other room for a minute.
Okay. This will be sooner than I thought. Anyway, so yeah, I think I am going to call it a night because I'm starting to be a little flaky here now. So thank you, Amizo Paints and JP and gotta remember who the other guy is because he was hanging out with Cole Sloth for hanging out with us, with me anyway, and making me feel somewhat loved. Okay, mildly accepted into the community. You're absolutely right. I should probably get one of those. Well, your version of tough love is beating me over the head with a mallet made of lava. But thank you guys for hanging out with me and anybody else that happens to watch this afterwards. Thank you for watching. This is Dave on CRPG Dungeons and Dragons Night. And as you can see, I'm getting really tired. My eyes are starting to get heavy on me. So I got to go rocks and socks. Hey, at least it's not a blanket party. I hate those. But you guys take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whichever comes first. Bye-bye.